Hello and welcome to the Open Hour. I'm Jayan Philip, your host, and today's episode is on India's ICC Championship Trophy victory, a nostalgic rewind. What is cricket? Cricket is exciting, is exhilarating, is mesmerizing, and sometimes it is frustrating when your team does not win, nor when it does not meet your expectations. Cricket is mad. It's a crazy, mad world in favor of cricket. Everybody wants to know how many runs does my team make, and when can we win, and how can we win the game. The ICC Championship Trophy, which started in 1998, has a colorful and spectacular history of its own. The numbers today are quite phenomenal, but when the game of cricket started, even in the 70s, 60s, and 80s, the numbers which viewed the game were not much. But today, with the online media, the numbers are almost infinite. While the screen might be small, the passion to be there in front of the screen is something which is indescribable. Nothing can beat the tension. Nothing can beat the diversity. Nothing can beat the pulse of an India-Pakistan Titanic clash. The Champions Trophy is just one of the major 4 ICC tournaments. The WTC, which is the World Test Championship, the ODI World Cup, the T20 World Cup, and the Championship Trophy. It brings all the top 8 ODI teams together, and then they compete for one thing, to be the champion, and of course to wear that precious white jacket. It is just more than a tournament, it's a battleground where cricketers test their brilliance, their energy, their skill, and of course where their passion come to the fore. With each match, the stakes are higher, and the fans are treated to a wonderful, wonderful joy of excitement and exhilaration. Whether it is the seasoned veteran, whether it is the most experienced player or the most inexperienced player, it is the person who takes the catch and who makes the run and who gives the final ball which carries the day. Cricket is all about passion and conviction of character, and the resilience which you show on the field and off the field is very, very important. The Championship Trophy has given us some of the most iconic moments in cricket history. Heart-stopping finishes, the catches, the remarkable centuries, and the tactics of the captain, which changed the course of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of the Open Hour, ICC Championship Trophy victory, India, a nostalgic rewind. Thank you so much for joining us. In the studios, we have Prithvi Prasad joining me to take stock of the situation. Thank you. Hi, Prithvi. Welcome to our studios. So glad to have you here with us. The Open Hour welcomes you openly with open arms. Prithvi Prasad is an ICC Level 1 coach, and he's also the MD of Polaris Karnataka. Today, we are debating on India's ICC Championship Trophy victory, and I'm so glad that you've come. You made time for our first episode on the Champions Trophy. Thank you, Prithvi, for being with us.
It's always a pleasure to be beside you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Okay, but I'm going to ask you tough questions. So
Bring it on.
yeah. Prithvi, what a night it was, 9th of March 2025. History was expected, I think. Was it on expected lines?
I mean, a lot of people can say a lot of things that India had undue advantage, but I would say, irrespective of where you're playing, if you don't play good cricket, you're not going to win, even if it's your home conditions. And that's one thing which we saw in the Test series against New Zealand. Even though it's our home conditions,
3-0.
3-0. So it doesn't work like that. You need to be good on the day. You need to be consistent right throughout the tournament. So I think that's what I think India were brilliant.
On that,
it was expected. Yes,
9th
yes,
of March. Yeah.
Yes.
But even when people say it worked to India's favor, or it was India's advantage, or even the newspaper said advantage India, On the ground, there are many things which need not go in your favor.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, the three matches we played in Dubai, of course, it was in one stadium, but that is not something which everybody has that opportunity, right?
If you actually see,
Yeah.
despite India playing all their games in Dubai, not all the pitches behave the same way, right? In the final, it was a bit of a panic situation
It was. It was.
where that word of undue advantage was almost going to get rolled off if we had lost a couple of more wickets.
Yeah, of course. When Axar
We would have
Patel
ended
went,
up on the wrong side.
yes, when Axar Patel went and
Yeah.
the score was reading as 201
So on
for
the day, you
4.
need a lot of things to go your way. Luck is one major factor. So I think, yeah, the luck was on our side, and yeah, yet
But
another
but,
glory.
but India played well. India played.
Yeah, no doubt about
It was a
right throughout the
comprehensive.
tournament. Yes.
It was a comprehensive professional approach, and I think it was 10 out of 10
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
way. So, Prithvi, to present before you some statistics, in the ICC tournament victories, we have won 23 out of 24. And if you look at India's progress report, it's 95.83, all under Rohit Sharma.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how crucial was Rohit Sharma in this victory?
Just-
People actually sidelined him after the New Zealand series, after the Australian series.
Yeah.
He was asked too many questions.
Yeah.
But now we saw Rohit the hitman
Yeah.
coming back and hitting everybody
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Just on a lighter note, I think India has won 23 out of the 24 last ODIs. The only loss being the Ahmedabad final. Okay.
In the Modi
I
Stadium.
feel that shouldn't have been the game, which should have been that one less win. But yeah, I feel it's really unfair that even people who are very well versed with the game of cricket write off world class players like Rohit Sharma very easily. We all know that he's a brilliant leader, and a captain is only as good as his team. Right? No doubt, New Zealand played amazing cricket in the Test series at which we played in India and we lost 3-0. We have to give it to them. And Australia, it was expected that it's not going to be easy because they're a quality side. And we had a
People
lot
spoke
of.
even 4-0, but
Yeah.
it was actually
Yeah,
3-1.
we actually played relatively well. And with a young side
with the young side.
who are touring Australia for the first time.
And
right?
Bumrah was available
Yeah.
only in the first.
And if you actually see that way, 2011, with all the senior pros, we lost 4-0. So I
Yes.
feel the youngsters have done a commendable job. So
And
it's easy to
Australia-
pick negative things in everything that you do. And let's not forget, we won on the most difficult pitch that was in Perth,
Perth, yeah.
right? So
And Bumrah was classic.
yeah, there's no doubt about it.
I don't know, but would you agree if Bumrah had come in probably in the other two tests also,
Yeah.
things would have been a slightly
Things would have made a solid difference, there's no doubt about it. But it's also very important that when you tour a place like Australia and you get the best batting conditions while batting first, you need to capitalize on that. And I feel as the series went, we started wavering off a bit as far as our batting was concerned. I feel we bowled brilliantly throughout the tour, but as far as the batting is concerned, I feel we could have done better as the tour progressed. But yeah, it was a good series. Let's not forget. The scoreline doesn't suggest that
Scoreline doesn't suggest
Australia was a better side, but yeah.
We'll come back to that because let's now focus on the Champions Trophy. Prithvi, I just want to take you across, as far as India's victories are concerned, India's ICC victories are concerned. It all started in 1983. You were not born, I think.
Yeah. I was 15 years away from being
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was in grade 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
25th of June, 1983. I was in St. Thomas Residential School, Trivandrum. And I remember that night. We just rushed out of the hostel. We were allowed to see the broadcast.
Right.
Black and white TV, such a small screen. But the entire auditorium was packed, screaming.
Must be nostalgic to reflect
Nostalgic.
on that. Yeah.
What a performance it was by Kapil Dev and his team. And that iconic image which you can see on screen, Kapil Dev lifting the Prudential Cup.
Yeah.
So it started there, 25th of June, 1983. So let's take one step at one time. And remember, this team had Sunil Gavaskar, Roger Binny, who's the present BCCI secretary. It had Madan Lal, Said Kirmani, who's from Karnataka.
Mohinder Amarnath.
Mohinder Amarnath.
Yeah.
Then came the championship trophy 30th September 2002.
It was called the Knockout Cup,
It
I
was
guess.
called the ICC
Yeah.
Knockout.
Yeah.
And it was shared between India and Sri Lanka. So
Right.
that again, that iconic picture of Saurav Ganguly and son of
Jayasuriya.
Jayasuriya,
Yeah.
who was a master blaster,
Yeah,
who was
yeah.
a blaster from the very word go.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes to bat, the first strike is either a 4 or a 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
He took the shots as easily as
And
it
just
could
to
be.
add to that, he's such an underrated bowler. He has 300 wickets in ODI.
He has 300
Yeah.
wickets. Yes.
Nobody
yes.
talks about it.
Nobody talks about the wickets.
Yeah.
They only talk about his opening stand.
Yeah.
And Sri Lanka at that point of time was a formidable team with Ranatunga as the captain.
Yeah.
So that was 2002. And then you see this image, 2007, 24th of September.
Yeah. T20 World Cup.
Nobody can forget that.
Yeah.
Do you remember that miscue from Mizabul Hulk
Yeah. Yeah.
and Srishant just running a few meters? and
The ball
taking-
felt like it's taking 100 years to come down.
Yes.
And all the Indian fans were at the edge of their seat. I clearly remember that night. It was a very nervous night. But yeah,
it was a question of
it was history made, yes.
it was history made. It could have been anybody's match,
Yeah.
India's or Pakistan's.
Yeah.
But that catch by Srishant
Yeah.
and
Under pressure.
and Dhoni
Yeah.
gave the ball to
Joginder.
Singh, who's actually an inspector now.
Yeah, true.
So the Joginder also is forgotten, but his ball
Yeah.
or his over was spectacular. I
Yeah.
would say. And
Under
that catch-
pressure.
under pressure,
Youngster
under
at that
pressure.
point of time.
Youngster
Yeah.
under pressure, and that was a miraculous
Yeah.
catch.
I mean,
from
Dhoni
Srishant.
himself was a youngster at that
Dhoni
point
himself
of
with
time.
the long hair. I mean, he was a youngster. He
A
was,
lot of expectations.
yes, he was a hero to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it was a long-haired Dhoni at that point
Trophy
of
was
time.
long due since 1983, 1985. It was long due.
Yeah, it was. And then you have. Do you remember this date, Prithvi? 2nd of April, 2011.
I mean, 1.5 billion Indians are going to remember this. till they
Remember
die.
that? But see the seat numbers. That's the question which I have for you.
Yeah.
282 to 286, J,
The-
282.
where the ball landed.
Where exactly the ball
Yeah.
landed.
And I think they framed that.
They have framed that. We can see it on screen, and you can see that the victory stand,
Yeah.
the World Cup 2011 victory memorial stand.
It does bring goosebumps till date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it
mean,
does.
between the seats J, 282 to 286, in the 5th row of the
Yeah.
pavilion.
Is where the ball landed.
Yeah. And that again was with Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And Kumara Sangakkara
Yeah.
was the Sri Lankan captain.
Yes.
So we lifted the ODI World Cup for the second time.
Yeah.
2023, it was a bad miss. We could not.
I mean, the lesser we talk about it, the better. It's because I
You
really
wouldn't-
remember
Uh,
Travis Head was like the ultimate headache and still continues to be the
but he
ultimate
didn't perform
headache.
very well this time. And for the Champions Trophy, he didn't
I mean,
perform well.
yeah, but he's
He was a
always-
terror. He was a
yeah,
terror to the Indians.
yeah. He's always been a nemesis for
Yeah.
India's path to
Travis
glory.
Head was a terror for Indians, and he stole the World Cup 2023 ODI World Cup
Yeah,
from us.
single-handedly.
Single-handedly. And this date, I'm sure you'll never forget.
Yeah,
2nd April 2011. Look at that. Some of the snaps which are coming on the screen.
yeah,
Sachin Tendulkar.
yeah.
I mean, he was the cynosure of all eyes.
Yes.
He was the leader. I mean, he was the father to the team, you can say.
Yeah.
And you can see the young Gautam Kabir, who's the present coach.
Young Virat Kohli.
Young Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have that iconic beard which he has. now.
Yeah.
And of course, Virendra Sehwag,
Yeah.
who was there. So all these pictures are there. And there are some who don't play now. For example, Munaf Patel
Yeah.
doesn't play
Yeah.
right now. But yeah, that was 2nd of April.
I mean,
20.
I think in that entire squad, the only one who's playing right now is Virat. Nobody else. Everyone's retired.
Everybody is retired.
Yeah.
Suresh Raina is retired. Piyush Chawla
Ashwin is retired.
Ashwin is retired. It's only Virat Kohli
Yeah.
who's leading this side. Harbhajan is retired.
Long may it continue.
Yeah, I mean, what a player Virat is. And 2013,
This is
the white jacket was finally ours.
yeah,
The white jacket. I'm wearing a blue one. I wish I had
which
a
we
white one.
thoroughly deserve.
Which we deserved.
Yeah.
2013, that particular match was, I mean,
And in alien conditions, let's not forget that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a spectacular victory.
We dominated the tournament, I feel.
Completely.
Yes. Yeah.
But that year, which I and you would not like to speak about, is 2017. There was a lot of expectations
The Champions Trophy to defend the title.
because we did very well till the last minute.
yeah, true.
Pakistan was not a highly rated team. It was probably one of the least rated teams.
Yeah, for sure. At that point of time, it was. Yes.
Least expected to win.
Yeah.
But the way Safraz Nawaz He led the
Ahmed
team.
Sarfraz
Sorry, Sarfraz
the
Ahmed.
wicket keeper. Yeah,
Wicket keeper.
yeah,
Sarfraz
yeah,
Ahmed led the team
yeah,
and got that white jacket for the
yeah,
Pakistani team at
yeah,
that point of time.
yeah.
Was something credible. So 2013 is something which we would like to remember. 2017 we would like to forget, but it's okay. It's part of the game. This, I don't know how to call this image. It's not iconic. It's actually a fantastic image. Look at that sense of joy.
I think this was one of the most emotional victories, I would call it. I would put this right next to 1983 as well as 2011 also.
Why is that?
As in, if you actually see just before 2024 T20 World Cup, which we ended up winning against South Africa at Barbados, India has always fumbled at ICC events. In the knockout game, in the high pressure game, South Africa had the tag of chokers, but to some level, I feel even we started going down that lane. If you actually see from the 2013 Champions Trophy right up to 2024 T20 World Cup, if you actually see all the ICC events, we have fumbled in the big game,
We have.
right? So we were almost nearing to the chokers tag.
But let's see that Surya Kumar Sky's catch.
Yeah,
The Sky catch
yeah,
was the classic
yeah.
catch.
Under pressure.
Under pressure.
Yeah.
Look at that catch. We'll have it on screen.
Yeah.
Look at that catch.
Yeah.
Did that change the game?
I mean, it did, of course, because if you actually look at it at the 15th over mark, anyone who follows and has enough and more knowledge of seeing a lot of cricket games, T20 cricket over the years, you would say that 99 out of 100 times that was South Africa's game.
Because Miller was batting.
Yeah. And 30 of 30 balls, today even 75, 80 is gettable in 5 overs. 30 of 30 was like a cakewalk.
It was a cakewalk.
And
it was South Africa leading on.
Yeah. So, I mean, that makes it really special. That makes it really sweet. I feel it was brilliant leadership. I feel Hardik Pandya's execution under pressure, because that at that point of time, they two were the guys who were handling that max pressure. Hardik Pandya and Bumrah, they were bowling at the death overs. So I feel they did a commendable job. And
Pandya bowled the last over also.
Yeah, he bowled the crucial overs where runs were contained. And I feel it's one of the sweetest victories, at least for me as an Indian cricket
Yeah,
fan.
I do agree.
I still remember we were all together. When we were all together, the way we celebrated the T20 World Cup win, this one, I think it's in the top 2 for me at least.
Yeah, the 2024 T20 definitely will go down. 2026 is coming. It's just a year away.
Yeah,
so
and we are hosting again.
We are hosting it. So now I just want you to take a look at the screen, Prithvi. I mean, if you look very closely, okay, we start off with the 1983 first victory, and of course 2011.
Yeah.
Then the men's T20 World Cup, 2007, 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 cups came in. The championship trophy, and of course you have a green tick mark there, 2025, which makes it 3. So we have won more championship trophies more than any other country.
True.
Now look at the ones down. The men's under 19 World Cup, we have the most. We have 5 of that.
Yeah.
And if you look at the women's under 19 World Cup, the one which we won recently, 2025, we have 2 of them, 2023 and 2025 also.
Yeah.
So I think this particular infographic shows that we are a force to reckon with.
Yeah.
And I think we are going very well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the ICC trophies that I can just see is just the way India is known. You know, it's expected. It's really expected for us to win those number of trophies. I mean, I really wish there were more. You know what I'm talking about when I say like a lot of from 2013 to that 2024. At least I feel if not win all, we would have at least won 2 of them where we had a real good chance.
Real good chance.
Yeah.
2023 we should have won.
Yeah, 2023 was our World Cup to win.
Yeah, it was in our soil.
And even 2019 also.
Oh, that was close.
That was heartbreaking against New Zealand. So apart from that, I feel we've really done well, and we're starting to pick up again in ICC tournaments. And no doubt in the next 5 years, I don't be surprised if we surpass Australia.
Yeah,
in the maximum
number of ICC trophies. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now this is also something which I want you to reflect on. Since 2002.
22.
Yeah, sorry, 2022. 49 out of 70 ODIs. So I think we've won. That's a good percentage. That's a good percentage. Yeah. I don't think you're happy with that. Okay.
I kind of disagree with you. 49 out of 70 for India is a very bad number.
Okay.
You know,
Why is that? Okay.
because of the expectations that 1.5 billion Indians have and the capability that our team has. You know, the problem with Indian cricket is there's a lot of outside noise. There's a lot of outside noise. There are untimely remarks from people to demotivate the team and all of that.
Yeah, these should be avoided.
They should be avoided because end of the day, the team does not belong to BCCI. The team belongs to 1.5 billion Indians.
The team belongs to India.
Yeah. So they win, they lose. We need to be there by their side. Of course, we have all the right to criticize them when they lose because
No, you can go in for constructive
criticism,
positive
not personal.
criticism, not
Yeah,
personal.
yeah. So
That I do agree.
but I feel from a cricketing point of view, I think there's definitely room for improvement. I feel we should be neck and neck with Australia
Yeah, we are actually.
as far as the stats are concerned.
stats
See,
are concerned.
now with two ICC
But they are
trophies,
ahead.
They are ahead, of course. Yeah. So I think we can do better.
So we'll just take a quick rewind of the 9th of March. That is a few days ago,
Yeah.
when history was really made.
Yes.
And of course, when our boys were with the white jacket.
Yeah.
There were many similarities. If you look at the 2015 World Cup, the first semi-final was between South Africa and New Zealand.
Correct.
Second semi-final was between India and
On
Australia.
Yeah.
Now here, the first semi-final was between India and Australia.
Yeah.
Second semi-final
Was between New Zealand and South
New
Africa.
Zealand and South Africa.
Yeah.
So a lot of similarities there. I mean, it's actually history coming back
Right.
at the same time. So, and then I call it as the 6 Indian strikes as far as the victory is concerned. On my closer analysis, it's up to you to reflect and whether to debate on it. So, the 6 Indian strikes, I would start with the first Indian strike, which is there on your screen, Prithvi. The twin strikes of Kuldeep. And that was the first jolt for New Zealand. How do you say that?
I feel the way
How do
New
you see
Zealand. I feel the way New Zealand started off. I remember like watching the game. I just told myself not again.
Why?
Just till the first wicket went. The way New Zealand, they started off very
They
solidly.
started off very, very
right?
well.
They
Till
started
the
off-
8th over, they were
The
doing
only
very
thing that I told myself is not again. New Zealand, not again. So the minute that he took those couple of wickets, I feel the New Zealand batsmen were deceived with quality, high quality bowling. I mean, I've seen very less teams in a high voltage tournament like a Champions Trophy to have the courage to play 4 spinners in a playing 11.
Do you think the fact that we played 4 spinners, which gives us 40 overs of spin,
Right.
do you think that changed the equation, or do you think that changed the course of events?
I feel it's a new school of thinking. I feel it's a new school of thinking, and I feel India read the conditions beautifully. And it could have backfired. I mean, if it would have backfired, all of us would have been criticizing the team today. But I feel it's a new school of thought, not just for India, for every team to consider.
That pace itself will not win
is
the
not
games.
win the games. Who knows? Tomorrow you might have a situation where you might play 5 spinners. A fast bowler might not come into the equation at all.
But
So-
apart from the spinners, which you speak about, 4 spinners, if you closely analyze it, Jadeja and Axar are top quality all rounders.
Of course,
They have
yes.
contributed with the bat.
Yes. Jadeja, Akshar Patel batted at number 5.
Number 5.
Yeah, which is the middle order, which is crucial, which is
Very,
the
very
engine
crucial.
room to, progress to a good total. And
And let's accept it, 250 was not at all a bad target.
yeah, it was a very tricky wicket.
It was a
Yeah,
tricky wicket.
yeah,
It was a reasonably good target.
yeah.
So,
I mean, these kind of games make ODI cricket more interesting. I mean, I'm not a fan of watching 400 play 400, all that, because that feels more like a video game, right? So I feel this 250 where, when you're chasing the target, there's a tricky thing, 2-3 early wickets, the team copes with pressure, ends up chasing, which is what I feel it was a humdinger of a final game.
Yeah, but the twin strikes of Kuldeep, one
Kane Williamson
Richardra
and- yeah.
going very well.
Yeah.
Kane Williamson was not at all in form this time. So it was good for India that it worked in India's favor
Yeah.
also. So that twin strikes is the first jolt for New Zealand. And what a ball it was.
Yeah.
Kuldeep's ball.
And he's a
it-
quality player.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, the trajectory of the ball
Yeah.
changed. as you can see from the screen. And he himself,
The trajectory, the pace, he was very good in the final with varying the pace and all of
he
that.
varied the pace, he deceived the pace, he manipulated, I would say,
Yeah.
because you only know where the ball landed, not where the ball would turn and hit the
I
wicket.
feel New Zealand played the names of the bowlers than playing the bowler in the final. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
So let's see the second strike, Prithvi, according to me, 81 balls without a single boundary. That speaks a lot about our fielding. Our fielding was top notch.
Yeah.
Except, of course, we had Shami dropping the catch. Of course, I'm not saying it was it was not 200% perfect, but I think that day, 9th of March, I think we did well.
I feel in any form of the game, now in ODI cricket, since we're talking about the Champions Trophy final, 81 balls going without a boundary, 8 out of 10 times you're going to lose the game. Because that's going to be the difference between, winning and losing. So I feel that's where I feel New Zealand slowed down a bit. I feel they took the pace of the innings very casually. And I feel those first two jolts by Kuldeep, I just feel put New Zealand on the back foot.
On the back foot, yeah.
Yeah, and then I feel they started feeling the heat.
And of course, they had to preserve the wicket.
Yeah.
So that's how it went on. So that was the second strike, according to me. Watch this video. Glenn Phillips. What a catch. Apart from the fact that I would say he's the best fielder of the day.
No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
Do you see Jonty Rhodes in him? Or probably he is the Jonty Rhodes of the modern era, I think.
He's the Glenn Phillips of modern era. I think the next generation is going to give him use him as an example. Just like how we talk about Jonty Rhodes, I feel the next generation is going to talk about Glenn Phillips. And
look
this is
at
not
the
the only
acrobatic
catch.
catch.
This is not
the only
catch.
catch. We will see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
even in the test matches.
I just can imagine how Shubman Gill could have felt, because I really feel it was a very good shot. You really can't help. That's where I feel in big games, the luck needs to go your way. And I feel
catches win matches.
That was outstanding.
Catches win matches. There's no doubt about it.
And New Zealand has always been a brilliant fielding side.
Yeah.
They take pride in fielding. Yeah.
It was acrobatic. I mean, I would say, but his innings also was steady. That actually gave a lot of momentum. To the.
It was a very smart innings.
34 of 52 balls, which was reasonably good.
Yeah.
And I think it was a very cautious approach at that point of time.
Right.
So now third strike for India was, as I told you, Varun Chakravarti's dismissal, the mystery man.
Yeah.
How important was his inclusion? I mean, that's what I wanted to ask you. Was Varun's inclusion in the last minute, in the 12th hour, I would say, was it a masterstroke?
100%. Actually, it was Gautam Gambhir's call. Having seen him at KKR, since he was the coach of KKR last year when they won the championship, it was his final call, because out of the blue, Bumrah was ruled out because of an injury, and then Harshit Rana played the first few games of the Champions Trophy. Again, that's where the four spinner theory. Rohit Sharma said one thing in the press conference, which I touched upon right after the Champions Trophy got over on 9th March. He said, we are not playing four spinners. We are just playing two spinners. The other two guys are all-rounders.
Oh, yeah. That's actually true.
So if you actually look at it, it is like that. I feel this guy is New Zealand. That's what I said. New Zealand read his name. They didn't read the ball that he bowled. Yeah. So that's where I feel he bowled.
But
brilliant.
Varun has had a phenomenal tournament.
And this is Varun Chakravarti 2.0.
2.0, yeah.
The first Varun Chakravarti that we saw. I mean, I was a guy who criticized the selectors to the maximum level to make him play the 2021 T20 World Cup. At that point of time, I felt people are giving India caps away very easily. And that's not how it was supposed to be. But now he's earned it.
Now he's earned it.
And I really feel he's cemented his place.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. No doubt.
So, and let's not forget, he's an architect too.
Oh, he's an architect?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I was just watching his interview yesterday. He's an architect.
Oh, okay.
He has a lot of ambitions. He started as a wicketkeeper. He became a fast bowler.
Oh, then this was a
yeah.
change, okay.
And then when he started bowling this mystery spin in some academy, the coaches and his friends laughed at him. They asked him if by doing all of this, by doing this mystery spin or whatever you're going to call this stupid thing that you're doing, are you going to play for India?
And he has answered the question
He's answered the question with his heroics. I
with
feel.
heroics. Yeah, he's a hero.
He's a treasure that needs to be preserved. That's what I feel.
So that was the third strike for India. Varun's dismissal of Phillips.
Yeah.
Look at this picture.
The four
Prithvi.
spinners
The
of
four
the
spinners
yesteryear and
of yesteryears. You know,
yeah.
you have S. Venkatraman, who's actually been a umpire also, an ICC umpire. Bishan Singh Bedi, EAS Prasanna, and B.S. Chandrasekhar. And I think that photograph is perfect. Whoever has done it has done it. I mean, it's a historic image.
All
It's historical.
stalwarts.
All stalwarts.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the Fab Four, as I would call them, of the present generation who made a difference as far as the 2024, 2025 championship trophy was concerned. You can look at those
Very nostalgic.
very nostalgic moments, very iconic moments, and look at the style.
I mean, even though I was,
You would not have seen them. Yeah.
I would not seen them, but obviously because of the ardent fan that I am, I obviously caught up on all their performances over the years, and it keeps taking me back to watching them, because what they did is craft, magic. I feel that feeling of watching them operate was a different level.
It is a different level. I would call it craftsmanship.
Yes,
or
it is.
Cricket statesmanship.
Yeah.
Because they were
At the highest level.
At the highest.
Yeah.
At the highest.
Yeah.
Cricket at that time, just cricket at that time was not easy also.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So now look at our four spinners. Right arm leg break for Varun, left arm wrist spin for Kuldeep.
Right arm leg break would be I feel a wrong
Term?
I feel there's no cricketing term that can define Varun Chakravarti.
Varun's overs and balls, right?
Yeah. I really hope, the only concern for me with Varun Chakravarti is I really hope he doesn't get found out easily.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing.
Batsmen
because should not really
because that's what happened with Ajanta Mendes,
Oh.
right? Because today's generation, you have all the data, all the videos.
You have AI also.
You have AI, a lot of things. So I really hope that nothing. So there's no leg break. I always keep making fun with these guys, behind the screens, that these Sri Lankans and this Varun Chakravarti and all,
they're all in the same family.
they use all the 5 fingers to operate on the ball. So
yeah, I mean, you need to the wrist.
Yeah.
And of course, Jadeja and Akshar Patel, left arm orthodox, but they are true all rounders.
For sure.
True all rounders.
For sure.
And Jadeja is a classic one because his fielding is just not top notch. It's 200 out of 200.
He's a legend. Let's not get that wrong. I mean, whoever might criticize.
How many years has he played? I mean, for years he has played.
He's playing from 2009.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has preserved India's wickets. He has batted for India. His fielding is, athletic and acrobatic many times.
And current generation, I feel longevity is can be the biggest threat to a player's career. Not everyone can sustain for so many years. There are rare exceptions. Sachin is one, Virat Kohli is one, Jadeja is one, Jadeja is one. So longevity is one thing which I feel is the most important thing. If you can sustain over such a long period of time at the highest level, I would call them a legend for sure.
Jadeja is a legendary figure.
He's one of the finest players that we have produced.
So let's see at one shot the four spinners which played a very crucial role in India's victory.
Yeah.
Look at the figures, Prithvi, on your screen. I mean, the opposite teams we played against, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and New Zealand. We played 28 overs of spin with Bangladesh, conceded only 123. Pakistan, 26 overs, 129 runs conceded, but 5 wickets. What a match that was.
Yeah.
And New Zealand, 37.3, almost 40 overs, and 166 runs conceded, a total of 9 wickets. Of course, New Zealand we played twice, that's a different thing. But I think here the spinners have spinned their way.
Yeah.
Okay? The spin was the spin of victory.
Yeah.
So I think it's a new equation which can come into Indian cricket.
Sure.
It's a new equation which can dominate world cricket also.
Yeah.
Because you have an Adam Zampa in Australia. You don't have many of these players in other teams as such. Okay? But of course, in India, you have a number of spinners who can come and who can even go. So I think that's going to make a difference. So that's it.
Can surely be a new room for thought.
New room for thought.
Yeah.
The next one I would like to point out was the the partnership between Rohit and Shubham Gill. 105 runs.
In the final,
And I think this cartoon speaks a lot about the runs which they've made.
for sure.
It was a perfectly solid partnership.
Yeah.
Built with confidence, built with conviction,
Two
built
world-class
with
players.
drives, built with, quick uh,
Running
running
between the wickets. Yeah.
in between the wickets. I mean, it worked out perfectly well. Now, they also had a very good understanding.
Yeah.
Okay, so that 105 runs, that whirlwind total of Rohit Sharma, that opening partnership, I think that kept the ball rolling for India.
If you actually see, I mean, in a crucial game, they rose to the occasion. 2024 T20 World Cup final, Virat Kohli scored 76.
Yes,
In the Champions Trophy on 9th March, the final, Rohit Sharma scored
it
76.
is just opposite.
Yeah, we ended up winning both of them.
Yeah, that's
So
actually true.
this is just a kind of a superstitious thing which Indians believe that 76, if any one player scores 76, we end up winning. But I feel, I mean, if actually the opening stand, I feel we're right now very solid, and that guy has some great years ahead of him. Shubman Gill, he's
So opening stand for India has always been good. I remember Gautam Gambhir and Virendra Shiva going to bat. What an explosive this thing.
yeah.
Sanat Jayasuriya and Ranattunga.
Yeah.
Uh, that was very explosive innings in that. Did India panic at this? 201 for 4 with Akshar Patel going. Did you panic at that? I did. Did you panic at that point of time?
I did.
Yeah.
The reason being not because we doubt the ability of the team, but let's be honest, it's a big game. And end of the day, all our players are still humans. We can call them whatever we want, professionals, Indian players, legends, whatever. Pressure can get the better of you at that stage. But yeah, I feel with the batting depth that we had, we were always on the same. But yeah, this was
This was a panic situation, actually.
again that one stage. Again, I said not again.
Not again. So the fifth strike for me, that 48 of Shreyas Iyer. I mean, for me, he was a masterclass during the middle overs. That's why I put it there, masterclass. And all the ones and twos which he took, that increased the score slowly, but very steadily.
Yeah, he held one end without.
He held one
Yeah,
end.
that's so important. Yeah.
And so Shreyas Iyer was my fifth strike. The last, and not the least, the sixth strike. KL Rahul was not a wicketkeeper that day. He was the anchor.
For sure.
Of course, he did brilliantly well behind the stumps also.
Yeah.
I mean, he rose to the occasion.
I
But
mean,
of
he's
course,
kept. I mean, he's kept someone like Rishabh Pant out of the
out,
team.
out of the game.
And Rishabh Pant is like one
He's
of
a
the
gem.
modern era.
Yes, he's a
kind
gem.
of
He
great,
hasn't.
yeah.
He didn't play a single match.
Yeah.
And so
I feel when KL Rahul is batting, there is that sense of calm, composure for everyone that's watching, because you know that he's not going to be erratic with his shot making.
he
So
played very cautiously
yeah.
and very defensive.
He read the situation really well.
Yes, and even if you see the sixes which he hit, it was above.
There are two things to defensive over here. I would just like to come in. KL Rahul, the same KL Rahul who played in the 2023 World Cup final against Australia, was criticized for scoring a half century of 101 balls. But the same guy in the same high pressure game against New Zealand in the Champions Trophy final, I feel had a good combination of being defensive and going for the attacking shots at the right time.
Yeah, because his 34
Yeah, was crucial.
was
I mean,
critical.
it was the
crucial.
detrimental factor in India
Yes,
winning. Yeah.
he played the anchor role there, and he cemented the place.
Yeah.
And that was the final.
I mean, one more wicket at that stage could have created a chaos.
If he had gone, if Jadeja had gone,
Yeah.
I think
It would have
probably
created panic.
it would have created a panic situation. I think probably we would have
Been on the
been
wrong side of
on
the
the
result
wrong
also.
side.
Yeah.
I mean, his defensive approach that also shows the brilliance which he has in him. So Rahul's approach was very, very.
And resilience is one thing that has always been the case with KL Rahul.
Yeah.
And I feel where I like him as a player is his flexibility. The team tells him to open the innings, he does it.
He comes at number 4, he can come at number
Yeah.
4.
So
He wants to come at number
every guy with the name Rahul does the same
Yeah.
thing. So that's it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Prithvi, let's look at the schedule for the Indian team, as we have to focus on that.
The ODI schedule is it?
Yeah, and pretty tough schedule ahead. As we see on the screens, 3 ODIs coming against Bangladesh, then of course against Australia also.
At home?
At
home.
At home, yeah.
Yeah.
And then against South Africa, then against England, against Afghanistan. That's also going to be interesting. They are a
Don't
super
write
team
Afghanistan
now.
off.
Super team now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. The way they're batting, they're made for T20s, I feel. They're made for ODIs.
The way they played in the Champions Trophy.
Against England.
Yeah.
Oh, that was, it was worth believing. How Zidane went on hitting. And to keep a team like England out of the tournament completely.
And they're a high-spirited team. They don't give up till the last ball.
That's
one thing that you love watching
that
about
is
Afghanistan.
The Afghan blood, I feel.
Yeah.
Never give
And
up.
don't be surprised 5 years later if they're in the top 4 or 5 rankings in the world.
I would not be surprised.
It's a very, very big
if
statement.
they will win the World Cup, T20 World Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Rashid Khan at any point of time can be explosive.
Yeah.
So with the bat and with the ball. So, Prithvi, the road ahead as far as India is concerned, 2026 T20 World Cup coming up just a year from now. 2027 ODI World Cup.
In South Africa and Namibia.
Yeah, in South Africa and Namibia, quite different. The wickets would be quite different.
Very alien.
And South Africa would naturally like to win it. So
they should. I feel. I would say they should only if India is not participating in the tournament.
But India will.
Yeah.
But to me, Prithvi, 2028 Los Angeles
Olympics, yeah.
And cricket is coming after a long
in
time.
The Olympics, yeah.
And I just
at least for this generation, the first time.
And I just want the medals there. I don't want a silver, I don't want a bronze.
The gold would look good on our players, I feel.
The gold would look good on us.
So we have the white jacket. We need the
gold medal.
Well.
We need the gold medal. And if that gold medal comes in, I think that will be a great start
for sure.
For the Indian team. So thank you so much, Prithvi, for being with the Open Hour. It was a great pleasure to have you for the channel. We will be, for the information of the viewers, we will be having more podcasts, like these on cricket, exclusively on cricket with Prithvi Prasad. And we look forward to the future programs and, of course, to the future episodes. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jan Phillips signing off for the Open Hour. Thank you.